Charger fans, big news coming out of Los Angeles. The Chargers just dropped something that flew under the radar, but trust me, it's worth paying attention to. Now, before we dive into the breaking details, quick reminder, if you're enjoying staying up to date with all the latest news, make sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and don't forget to hit that bell icon so you never miss a story. Alright, let's get into it. So here's what happened. During a preseason discussion, Jesse Minter did something we almost never see from coaches. He came right out and confirmed 4 starters. That's unusual. Coaches usually keep things vague, play it close to the vest, and let speculation run wild. But this time, he put names on it, including Dante Jackson, who they picked up this offseason, along with Tib, Still, and Cam Hart. That kind of announcement is rare, and it gives us a peek at how the coaching staff is shaping the foundation of this team heading into the season. Now, here's where things get really interesting. Out of all the names mentioned, one stands out, Benjamin St. Juste. Think about this for a second. The Chargers brought him in on a short, one-year deal worth just $2.5 million. That kind of contract usually screams, prove yourself or you're gone. And for good reason. His last couple of years in Washington were anything but smooth. He gave up over 700 yards in coverage in back-to-back seasons, surrendered 6 touchdowns, and last year, he barely even saw the field. But here's the shocker. Jesse Minter didn't hesitate. He flat out said, he's starting. That's bold. Take a look at the depth chart, and the picture starts to get clearer. You've got Cam Hart, Tib Still, Dante Jackson, all pieces that make sense. Hart and Still are slotting into nickel looks, while other names like Nico Reed and Elijah Molden are fighting from behind. Molden, for instance, has been shifting more into a safety role, which leaves St. just stepping directly into a spot most people didn't see coming. And that's why this move is huge. It tells us the coaching staff sees something in him, something worth betting on. Alright, let's dig a little deeper, because this decision says a lot more than what's on the surface. Nobody expected Benjamin St. just to step into a starting role right away. On paper, he looked like a prove-it guy, someone you take a low-risk chance on and see if he can bounce back. But the fact that Jesse Minter has already labeled him as a starter, that tells us he's flashing something in practice, showing a side of his game that we simply didn't get to see in Washington. And that's where this gets exciting. This isn't a negative, it's the opposite. It means the Chargers just might have found a piece that elevates the defense in ways we didn't anticipate. Now think about it. With 4 starters locked in, the foundation looks stronger than ever. The linebacker room feels secure with Junior Colson holding it down. The defensive line? Still the big question mark, no doubt. But if it holds up even moderately well, this unit could end up being the strength of the team. Here's why it matters. Complementary football. Last year, there were stretches where the defense looked solid, but the offense couldn't capitalize. If this defense is steadier, and the offensive playmakers finally sync with it, you're talking about a team that can control games, dictate pace, and frustrate opponents week after week. That's not just hopeful thinking, it's a legitimate possibility if these puzzle pieces fall into place. And as we inch closer to the final preseason game, there are names worth circling. Nico Reed, for example. He's one of those players who doesn't just step on the field. He makes you pay attention. His story, his energy, the way he attacks reps. It's exactly the kind of thing that can shift a roster battle at the very end. So don't just look at the headline about 4 starters. Look at what it means beneath the surface. Competition is heating up. Depth is being tested. And unexpected names are carving their way into the spotlight. And that's the real question, isn't it? Can Nico Reed truly be that guy? Not just a flash in preseason, but someone who adds genuine depth, consistency, and impact when it matters most? That's what makes watching the secondary so fascinating right now. Every snap heading into the last preseason game feels like an audition, and it all points toward the bigger test, Week 1. Now, while following that story, something else caught my attention, and it made me think about the Chargers in a very different way. Micah Parsons was spotted literally dozing off on the sidelines during the Cowboys' final preseason game. Now, that's not about the Chargers directly, but it highlights something important: the difference between well-run organizations and those that constantly seem to trip over their own drama. In this league, it's brutally hard to win. Talent alone doesn't cut it. Some teams can't stay out of their own way because the distractions never end. Whether it's players making headlines for the wrong reasons, ownership stirring up noise, or just plain dysfunction. But then there are teams that handle business quietly, professionally. You look at organizations like the Chargers, the Lions, the Eagles, even the Chiefs, and there's a common thread. They keep things steady. They bring in players who actually want to be there. They take care of those players. And they let the football speak louder than the noise. That's why these little comparisons matter. Because in the long grind of an NFL season, stability isn't boring, it's powerful. It's the difference between being in the conversation late in December or sitting at home wondering what went wrong. Now imagine being a Cowboys fan right now. You see your star player snoozing on the sidelines in a preseason game, and the only thing running through your head is, what on earth is going on? What is the leadership even doing? That kind of moment doesn't just frustrate fans, it plants doubt, and doubt spreads fast inside a locker room. On the flip side, I couldn't help but laugh at another moment that popped up online. It involved Isaiah Pacheco, the Chiefs running back. If you've ever watched him play, you know exactly what I mean. The guy runs like every snap is the last of his life. He's pure intensity, all gas, no brakes, and sometimes it borders on chaotic. There was a clip where he looked like he was sprinting 100 miles an hour in a situation that didn't even call for it. And all I could think was, man, settle down. Just breathe. But of course, that's Pacheco, relentless energy that never switches off. And in a strange way, that's what makes waiting for the season so tough. Watching all these stories, seeing all these moments, it just builds the anticipation even higher. Because if you're a Chargers fan right now, you're not thinking about clips or side distractions. You're thinking about real football. You're thinking about kickoff, about finally seeing this defense hit the field, and about whether the defense can match that fire. It's been months since January, months without meaningful games. And at this point, the emotion is the same across the board. We're ready. Ready to see who steps up, who surprises us, and whether all this buildup finally pays off once the season begins. That's one of the wild things about the NFL. They've mastered the art of staying relevant 12 months a year. Think about it. The season ends in January, but the league never really disappears. You get the playoffs, then the Super Bowl, then almost immediately it's free agency buzz. Before the excitement dies down, the combine rolls around, then the draft, minicamps, OTAs. It's like the NFL has found a way to keep fans on the hook without ever letting the calendar breathe. And yet, here we are, running on fumes, waiting for the real thing. All the buildup is great, but at some point, you just need games. That's where the energy is. That's where all the speculation finally gets put to the test. This season opener feels especially massive. Win in week 1, and suddenly, the tone of the entire year shifts. It's momentum, it's confidence, it's belief, all from a single game. That's why the anticipation right now feels heavier than usual. Fans aren't just waiting. They're craving that spark to finally kick everything into motion. So buckle up, because once the ball is kicked off, all the noise of the offseason fades, and it comes down to who executes, who steps up, and who writes the first chapter of what could be an unforgettable season.